My name is Seraphina, the Masked Lady. I was once human. Since then, I have lived many lives. I have been loved and reviled, adored and despised, been the child of a poor prostitute and a courtesan revered by thousands. When I was a child, a stranger with no face offered me the ability to move between the worlds. Since then, my every death has led to a new life. I once had a true love. He was ripped away from me when I was murdered in the 18th century. I search for him still. In the meantime, I walk in the shadows behind the universe, visiting realms both exquisite and terrible and bringing back stories and rhymes to amaze the mind and enchant the ear. Through my YouTube channel, I send the stories out into the world, hoping that my true love will hear them and reply. Hoping, if he does not, that I will find in the other souls who listen kindred spirits to help ease the pain. What of you, stranger? Did you come here tonight seeking a mystery? Do you hunger for a spark of excitement, for the dark thrill of fear? Will you listen as my tales unfold, knowing that some may very well take on lives of their own? Consider, stranger, whether you have the courage to walk between the worlds with Seraphina, the Masked Lady. Hello, my delicious darlings. The shadows are thick and dark tonight, aren't they? I have all my candles gleaming beside me, and I still can't fight back the darkness enough to read my book. Fortunately, the petrifying poems I will share with you are so scary that they've engraved themselves on my memory. Winter is with us now, and the wind is high. So find your blanket and remember that you are not alone. I am sitting beside you now, breathing the words into your ear. If you get scared, you only need to reach out and grasp my hand. We'll face the fear together. The Autumn Sacrifice. The world is filled with hues of red, of amber, and of gold. The air crackles and snaps with ice and glistens with the cold. It is a month of glowing cheeks, baked apples, and wood smoke. As it draws on, it sparks excitement in the common folk. For those who love the year's 10th month, there is no horror in the festival that dawns just as November's drawing in. Fearless of shadows, they look to the fires of Samhain, as much as to the fruit of harvest and the fall of grain. For them, Halloween is a night of festival and fun. Their costumes hide them from the demon folk who shun the sun, and any apprehension hides beneath veneers of joy. They do not wish for their happy revels to be destroyed. Few of them remember the years when, to a wooden lair, there came a brave and peerless youth with flowers in his hair. For a whole month, he'd had his fill of wine, women, and charm. But now it was he that came to give and to defeat harm. He lay upon the branched bower. The priestess called his name, as her torch dropped into the twigs and set the bower aflame. In those days, every circling year called for a sacrifice. The youth came willing to his death. His folk did not think twice about surrendering their lover, brother, or their son, to drive back the secret shadows that sought to cloak the sun. Now, it is candy, not young flesh, that forms the sacrifice. And perhaps it does prove enough to force back winter ice, long enough to warm up our homes and bring the harvest in. We no longer build fires of bones. The pumpkin's leering grin is the only skull that we see that's not a masquerade. Are we the generation, then, that need not be afraid? Perhaps so, but mothers who send your babies out on that night, be sure they carry something holy and a pure, bright light, to ward off hands that might yet seek a bloody sacrament. If not, then you may well regret the evening that you sent your precious ones into the night, not sure they would return, only to have them snatched by ancient forces, there to burn. I do not say All Hallows' Eve should not be blithe and gay. There is a reason our forebears celebrated this day, but carry God beside you when you venture out at night, unless you wish the ancient ones to steal you from the light. Remember the dead. Remember us, the spirits beg, do not leave us to go silent into the clinging mists where those forgotten go. Do not leave us to wander with no one to speak our name. No one to sing old songs to us or spread our worth and fame. Remember us, they say and sing, when you wake in the night, with a shiver along your spine that makes you start with fright. Do not tremble or weep because you sense that we are near. Children of love, we come in hope and not to bring you fear. We come to ask for a room in the dreams you dream at night. Give us your leave to dance through them and end our dreadful plight. So do the dead implore once all their kin have passed away, when they have none to seek their graves upon the holy day. No grandchildren to bless their rest as round their stones they dance. No children to steal a fond kiss as their small siblings prance. The spirits don't wish to walk all alone throughout the night, fitting to become hollow shades. Instead, they would stay bright, in loving recollection, in the hearts of people bold, in those who will remember folk who've passed away of old. And so they cry, remember us, in voices loud and clear, that louder grows when time circles to the end of the year. What will you do when spirits beg a place in memory? Will you answer in kind or leave them alone with me? The Lady of the Night. I met the Lady of the Night when I was 21. Life had left me without shelter from the wind and the sun. Sometimes, I slept on the cold streets or in a borrowed bed. I tried to take my comfort wherever I laid my head. The truth was that I was young and lonely and sore afraid. I would grasp any pleasure that did not leave me dismayed. I had other lovers back then, some rich, some of them fair. I didn't care for looks, only that they eased my despair. So when the lady came to me one night at twilight fall, I didn't fear her, only rose in answer to her call, and looked upon the lady fair who smiled down on me. Her hair black as a raven's wing, her eyes blue as the sea. She laughed to see me look at her, mouth open and amazed. She was so beautiful, I briefly thought that I was crazed. A woman so fine did not have to walk the empty street. Any rich man would have bought her the finest hotel suite, simply for the asking or a smile from those lips so fair. He'd want to own that figure that was beyond all compare. But at least she would have shelter and food in a warm bed, unlike out here, where one had to fight for space to lay their head. Yet here she stood, an outcast like me, Lady of the Night. My heart could beat again when I looked at the lovely sight. "Hello, young man," the lady said, her voice cheery and low. "I saw you sitting here alone and wondered if you'd go and walk with me beneath the stars beside the silver sea. Talking of the things I have seen, magic and mystery." What could I say to her but yes? Her glances were as fire. In seconds, to go on with her was my only desire. The lady reached down, took my hand and helped me to my feet. I hurried to keep pace with her. Her walk was swift and fleet, and soon we strolled upon the pebbles by the whispering sea. I sat to look at the water, tugged her down next to me, and listened as music floated to us from the dry land. The lady was quiet for a while, then she took my hand. She said, "This is my favorite place, halfway between land and sea. Not one thing and not another. Thanks for coming with me." I, of course, told her I was glad to be there next to her. I wondered if she'd brought me there so I'd make love to her. I would have been glad enough too, for she was fair and fine, more beautiful than any girl who'd agreed to be mine. But all the lady did was sigh, cheerily true but low, and say, "It's chilly here tonight. I wish that it would snow." Now, that was odd. Those without homes would rarely play for sleet or snow that meant sniffles, sore ears, numb hands, and swollen feet, and even deaths, with unclaimed bodies, left alone at dawn, with none left to bury the dead, no one to wail and mourn. The girl said, "There's magic when snow falls upon the sea. It floats there, and it dissolves like a soul lifting free. It is so peaceful to sit here amidst the evening hush, and watch the wonder of the snow before it turns to slush." Then she placed her head on my shoulder and left it to rest. How many of you reading this can guess what will come next? Well, I'll tell you. Her teeth fastened in my neck small and fast. And when she drew on my throat, I thought that hour was my last. It nearly was. She drank and drank till it was almost gone, then laid me back against the stones that I had sat upon, and whispered softly in my ear, "You're very close to death. If you choose, I can leave you here to take your final breath, or I can make you what I am. You are so young and bright, but if you choose, I can make you a walker of the night." I lay there gasping, almost gone. My eyes were on the sky. I watched the stars light, one by one, upon the velvet high. I remembered each time that I'd wished my life at an end. Now, I wanted a way for that same life to defend, but I had none. I was too weak, too tired, too alone. So I closed my eyes and prayed to God to take me back home. But the Almighty had no chance. The lady did not wait. Her own wrist crushed over my mouth. One blood drop sealed my fate. When I woke up, the girl was gone, and dawn tainted the sky. Luckily, I found a place to hide, for it made me fry. From then on, I was a hunter so beautiful and fair, who stalked the street and preyed upon those who had found despair. I hear their thoughts. They call me to bring an end to their pain. The people who live out their lives beneath the pouring rain. Sometimes, from the edge of my eye, I think I catch the bright eyes and the mocking laughter of the lady of the night. Have I spoken to her again? No, she is not so kind. I hear her mocking laughter still at the edge of my mind. I hope that we will never meet. Keep safe at home at night. Then you will never chance to meet the lady of the night. Wow, those were some terrifying tales. Would you like to meet the lady of the night? Not me. I don't think I could entertain her well enough to keep her happy. That said, we two do have some experiences in common. Perhaps it wouldn't be wrong for me to add a vampire to my social group. Don't be concerned. Even if some vampires join us in our storytelling circle, I will clarify that my poetic friends are not to be fed on. For now, I will curl up in my feety pajamas and enjoy a well-earned snooze. Keep safe and warm, and be sure to visit me next week for another episode of Spooks and Scares.